Welcome to Moscow, a city where history and modern life intertwine in a captivating dance. From the iconic Red Square to the serene banks of the Moscow River, every corner of this vibrant capital tells a story of power, culture, and resilience. Join me on a journey through Moscow's timeless landmarks, where tradition meets innovation, and every step reveals a new chapter of this unforgettable city. At the heart of Moscow lies Red Square, a space that radiates both power and poetry. Its name, derived from the old Russian word for beautiful, speaks to more than just its color. Encircled by the towering Kremlin walls, the vivid onion domes of St. Basil's Cathedral, and the majestic facade of the GUM department store, Red Square is a visual masterpiece and the very soul of Russia's historic journey. For over 5 centuries, it has been the stage where czars were crowned, revolutions ignited, and generations of people gathered in awe, fear, or celebration. Walking its vast cobblestones feels like stepping through a living museum. Every corner whispers stories of Soviet parades with tanks and flags, of quiet nights blanketed in snow, of chants echoing through history. On one side, Lenin's mausoleum casts a solemn shadow, its dark geometry in sharp contrast to the joyfully colored spires beside it. Red Square has borne witness to imperial processions and modern concerts alike, holding within it the paradox of permanence and change. There is an intensity in its stillness, a sense that you are standing at the crossroads of time. As the day fades, golden light spills across the square, bathing the scene in a glow that feels almost sacred. Tourists take photos, children run and laugh, and the city breathes with quiet pride. Here, in this one place, the spirit of Moscow is laid bare, resilient, layered, alive. Red Square is not simply a destination, it is a presence. It does not demand your attention, it earns it with every stone, every silhouette, and every silent echo of the past. The Moscow Kremlin is not just a fortress, it is the very heart of Russia's identity. Enclosed within its towering red brick walls are centuries of political power, cultural richness, and architectural splendor. Built over many generations, the Kremlin has been home to czars, emperors, and modern presidents alike. As you approach its grand towers and pass beneath the star-topped spires, you're stepping into a space that has shaped not only the destiny of a nation, but also the rhythm of world history. Inside, the Kremlin reveals a city within a city. Its golden-domed cathedrals, such as the Assumption and Annunciation, reflect the spiritual life of a deeply religious people. While the massive Ivan the Great bell tower stands like a sentinel, watching over centuries of change. The Grand Kremlin Palace, once home to royalty, continues to impress with its regal symmetry and historic gravitas. Even the cobblestones feel charged with memory, echoing the footsteps of monarchs, soldiers, and revolutionaries. To walk these grounds is to walk through layers of Russian time, layered, complex, and enduring. From the banks of the Moscow River, the Kremlin stands like a guardian over the capital, timeless and proud. As sunlight dances across the walls and domes, the fortress feels both imposing and beautiful, an eternal symbol of strength and survival. It is not merely a place to visit, it is a place to feel the weight of legacy, the grandeur of architecture, and the deep pulse of a civilization that has endured storm after storm and still rises with dignity. Nestled along the banks of the Moscow River, Gorky Park is a lush escape from the city's rush, a place where nature, art, and community blend into a living, breathing landscape. Since its transformation in the early 20th century, the park has become a beloved symbol of modern Moscow, where people come not only to walk or cycle, but to dream, to reflect, and to feel alive. With tree-lined paths, outdoor cafes, open-air concerts, and smiling faces all around, Gorky Park carries the rhythm of daily life with grace and charm. There is something deeply personal about this park. Families gather on the lawns, children play under the wide skies, and couples stroll by the river as swans drift past. In winter, the entire space turns into a snowy wonderland, with ice skaters gliding beneath glowing lights and laughter echoing through the cold air. Art installations, book fairs, and music festivals add layers of creativity that keep the park fresh and surprising every season. Here, joy is not just felt, it is shared. But Gorky Park is more than a place for recreation. It reflects a changing Moscow, one that embraces openness, imagination, and beauty. Beneath the trees and along its peaceful paths, the city lets down its guard and breathes freely. Whether you're watching the sunset over the river or listening to the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze, Gorky Park offers more than scenery. It offers serenity. In a city of strong lines and long histories, this green heart reminds us to pause, to connect, and to simply be. Tsaritsyno is where fairy tales come alive. Nestled in the southern reaches of Moscow, wrapped in quiet forests and reflecting lakes. Commissioned by Empress Catherine the Great in the 18th century, this sprawling estate was meant to symbolize imperial elegance and vision. Though she never lived to see it completed, her dream lives on in red brick palaces, white stone bridges, and Gothic Revival towers that rise gracefully from the greened landscape like memories from a distant past. As you walk through the vast parklands, the mix of manicured gardens and wild woodlands makes you feel suspended between eras. The Grand Palace, with its arched windows and intricate spires, feels at once regal and melancholic. Fountains dance in the sunlight, and music often drifts from open-air performances, blending with birdsong and laughter. In autumn, golden leaves swirl across marble paths. In spring, blossoms burst into color along winding trails. Each season rewrites the story of Tsaritsyno with new beauty and fresh emotion. But more than its architecture or history, Tsaritsyno is a place of reflection. It invites visitors to slow down and listen, to footsteps echoing under ancient arches, to wind rustling through birch trees, to the silence between memories. It is a place where Moscow reveals a softer, more poetic side. Tsaritsyno does not demand attention. It earns it, gently, with every path, every view, and every quiet breath of peace. It is not just a museum or a reserve, it is a living dream. Tucked beside a quiet bend of the Moscow River, the Novodevichy Convent feels like a world apart, a serene sanctuary wrapped in history, mystery, and sacred beauty. Founded in the early 16th century, this UNESCO World Heritage Site has watched over Moscow for centuries, its red and white towers rising peacefully above gardens and reflecting ponds. Behind its fortified walls lies not just a convent, but a living testament to the strength and grace of Russian faith and femininity. Walking through its courtyards is like stepping into a painting. The golden domes of the Smolensky Cathedral shimmer beneath the sky, while the surrounding chapels, towers, and monastic buildings speak of devotion and resilience. Over the centuries, Novodevichy served as a refuge for noblewomen, a place of worship, and even a political prison. Every stone seems to hold secrets, of prayers whispered, dreams confined, and quiet hope held firm through time. Outside, the nearby cemetery holds the final resting place of many of Russia's greatest minds, including Anton Chekhov and Nikita Khrushchev. What makes Novodevichy unforgettable is its stillness. Amid the rush of the modern world, this place remains calm, contemplative, and timeless. The reflection of its bell tower in the lake is like a portal into the past, a reminder that beauty, even in silence, speaks volumes. Whether you're drawn by faith, history, or simple wonder, the convent invites you to pause, breathe, and feel. In its gentle presence, Moscow shows its most spiritual face, elegant, eternal, and deeply human. Rising high above the skyline on Sparrow Hills, Moscow State University is more than just an academic institution. It is a monument to ambition, intellect, and architectural grandeur. Completed in the mid-20th century, the university's iconic main building is one of Stalin's Seven Sisters, a soaring testament to Soviet power and pride. With its intricate spires, grand columns, and golden clock, it feels like a cathedral built for knowledge. Even from afar, its silhouette commands respect and curiosity. But beyond its massive facade lies a world of ideas. Generations of scientists, writers, mathematicians, and thinkers have walked these halls, leaving behind a legacy of innovation and discovery. Inside, long corridors echo with footsteps and discussion. Towering lecture halls hum with energy. The library is a quiet sanctuary of thought, where pages turn gently and futures are shaped in silence. Students from all corners of Russia and the world gather here, their minds open and eyes bright, dreaming of what might come next. Outside, the view from the observation deck stretches across all of Moscow, reminding you of the scale of the city and the reach of knowledge. In the surrounding gardens, young people read, laugh, and debate under the trees. Moscow State University is not just a symbol of education, it is a place where ideas take flight. Standing beneath its towering arches, you feel the weight of history, but also the spark of limitless potential. This is Moscow thinking, reaching, and believing in tomorrow. Cruising down the Moscow River is one of the most unforgettable ways to witness the city. Iconic landmarks like the Kremlin, St. Basil's Cathedral, and the towering Moscow State University rise proudly on the skyline as boats glide past. In the golden light of evening, their reflections shimmer across the water, creating a canvas of color and calm. Couples hold hands on riverside benches, cyclists breeze along the embankments, and street performers fill the air with music. Life pulses gently here, unhurried and sincere. The Moscow River winds gently through the heart of the city, carrying centuries of stories along its quiet currents. It is more than just a body of water. It is a living ribbon that ties together the past and present of Russia's capital. From its origin in the Smolensk region to its steady flow through the city center, the river has always been there, silent, steady, and deeply symbolic. Along its banks, empires rose, revolutions stirred, and love stories quietly unfolded. What makes the Moscow River so moving is its ability to ground you. Amid the city's speed and power, the river offers pause. It invites you to watch, to feel, and to reflect. Whether frozen in winter, alive with ice skaters and snowfall, or warm in summer, lined with sunbathers and artists, it always carries a quiet grace. The Moscow River does not demand attention. It flows with it, like a whispered reminder that even in a place of power, there is always room for peace. No place in Moscow captures the imagination quite like St. Basil's Cathedral. Standing proudly at the edge of Red Square, this architectural masterpiece is a swirl of color, shape, and mystery. Built in the 16th century under the orders of Ivan the Terrible, it commemorates a military victory. But its whimsical domes and candy-colored towers feel more like something born of dreams than war. With its vibrant palette and unmatched silhouette, it has become not just a symbol of Moscow, but of Russia itself. Each of the cathedral's 9 chapels is crowned with a uniquely designed dome, no two exactly alike. As you walk through its narrow passageways, you're surrounded by centuries-old frescoes, flickering candlelight, and the scent of incense hanging in the air. The experience is deeply intimate, almost surreal. Outside, the building dazzles with its playful curves and bold colors. Inside, it whispers of faith, history, and quiet reverence. It is a cathedral not meant to overwhelm, but to enchant. St. Basil's is more than a place to see, is a place to feel. It reminds us that beauty doesn't always follow rules, and that history can live on in shapes that make us smile. Whether you view it in the soft snow of winter or under a warm summer sky, the cathedral stands like a fable told in stone and light. In a city of strong voices, St. Basil's speaks gently, and its message lingers long after you've walked away. As we conclude our journey through Moscow, we've glimpsed a city of contrasts. Ancient walls standing beside soaring skyscrapers. Quiet parks next to bustling streets. Moscow is a place that invites reflection and celebration, a city that embraces its past while boldly stepping into the future. May these moments inspire you to explore, to dream, and to discover the magic that flows through this magnificent metropolis.